friends, my name is Joey Balistreri. Welcome to my work table, and yay, I finally got my bargain bead box. It was delivered really late last night. I don't know what's going on with my mail, but I'm getting my boxes quite a bit behind other YouTube channels. So I am going to do a super fast expedited unboxing because I've seen about half a dozen other channels already post an unboxing, and I love this box and I want to start a design right away. I've already got a little bit of it started, and so I'm going to do this quick unboxing with the Boughs and Berries themed bargain bead box for this month. It's gorgeous, it's very wintry, and I just love the berry colors with the leaf colors and the frosted crystal-y colors. So beautiful. This is a 30mm moss agate donut pendant. And next we got 8mm moss agate round beads, a full 15-inch strand. And then these are gorgeous, a 6mm tree agate matte round bead, and again a 15-inch strand. And there is a kite pendant in that same moss agate. It's absolutely gorgeous. And then up next is this gorgeous strand of tiger eye. There is a full 7 inches here of this 6mm tiger eye, and it is dyed and heated so it will hold that beautiful color. And then look how gorgeous these are. This is a 7.5 inch of 4mm red jasper faceted round beads. They are stunning. They have such a pretty flash and sparkle because of the facets, and this is one of my favorite things in this box. This is 10mm moonstone. There is a 7-inch strand here, and it is a frosted bead. It just looks like it's, ice or frozen ice. It has that beautiful flash. This is also called mermaid glass, but this particular bead is absolutely stunning. And then look at this. Doesn't this look like it came right out of the freezer? It looks like a frosted mint ice cream treat of some sort. These are crystal faceted beryl beads in a mint green AB, which is Aurora Borealis for newer people. So you get that gorgeous flash, and just they just look frosted, like they just came right out of the freezer. And then look at this. This is another favorite of mine. These are crystal triangle beads in a light vitriol. We got a 10-inch strand of these, and with all those facets, they just sparkle beyond description. So that's a favorite, and this is another favorite. In fact, I think these are going to be going in my project that I've already designed. I couldn't help myself. These are crystal rondelles that are faceted. These are little 4mm, I think, and we got a 16-inch strand of these. They're 4x3mm, and they're in a matte, but they have that crystal AB finish applied, so you can see the flash and the sparkle that AB gives. And then look at this, you guys. These are matte glass rounds in the colorway Holly Berry. This is so gorgeous. The trend, one of the big trends for the end of 2024 and going into 2025 is a pop of red in your outfit. So not head to toe, but like a scarf, a handbag, a piece of jewelry. So that is perfection to just be right on trend. And it's that beautiful sweet size as well. It's a 6mm, which is one of probably my favorite size bead. And then look at these. We got these gorgeous rhinestone garnet red clay beads. They just sparkle and glisten, and there are 6 pieces there, so you could do a bracelet, you could do earrings, you could do a set with those. And then I have a love affair with lampwork beads. We got a 2-piece set of these 10mm lampwork beads in evergreen. And then this month's box was just packed with gorgeous silver findings in stainless steel. And there's just, I just put them all here. There's a wreath, there's an evergreen pendant, there are some little holly leaf pendants, this gorgeous pine tree drop. I love that. These connectors are stunning with all the different places to connect things in a design. We got 3 sets of this wreath toggle clasp, beautiful corrugated spacer beads. There is this knurled chain. I'm crazy about this. You'll see this is going to go into my first project. I love that little stainless steel chain. And then we also got these gorgeous cone-shaped bead caps. So absolutely wonderful collection of findings. Here's a quick overview. And I'm going to clean up my mat and come right back with my first project. I'm so excited to start making with this box. Okay, I've been working on my design and I am super excited about it. I am cutting links of this chain with 11 links for each of my drops. And I'm taking the little crystal triangles and using a ball head pin and making a little drop for the bottom of each one. And I'll show you how I'm doing that. I found kind of an easy way to do it. And what you see here is our 10mm moonstone. And then these cool silver check glass disc spacers are from the sister website to Bargain Bead Box. So you guys, if you are not familiar, let me just share something really quickly. This month's Bargain Bead Box is $97.98, so almost $100 worth of supplies. There were 22 items in this month's box for $22. I don't know how they do it. I don't know how a jewelry maker can live without getting this box every month. But the other amazing thing, and this is what made me think of it, is that if you're a subscriber to Bargain Bead Box, you get a coupon code on this insert every month that you can type in to the sister website Bead Box Bargains and get 30% off your entire order over and over again all month long, as many times as you want to use the code. And if you have never been on that website before, you're missing out. They have amazing things. Besides extra toggle clasps and all kinds of findings, ball head pins, but they have some of the coolest beads. They are constantly updating the website. So I found these silver check glass disc spacers. I know they look almost metallic, but they are glass. They have a nice weight to them. And so my plan is I thought about doing my fringe section all the way around this bracelet, but I think I'm going to be happier with it with 3 sections of fringe. So it's going to dangle like a cuff, and then I'm going to break up those sections of fringe with a little bead station with the check glass disc and the moonstone. And I have seen these on the runway where the whole bracelet was just fringe all the way around. And I've been wanting to make one of these for years. I've never made one, and I just think it's so cool. And you could leave the chain just empty, just leave the empty link. And I even thought about, with the little triangle crystal beads, putting them at random in the middle of each of my chain links, but I don't know, I think I'm kind of happy with that. I'm doing a simple loop there with the ball head pins, so if I change my mind, I can easily open and close those. And the other thing I have to work out, I would like to have 3 sections of my chain drops on this bracelet separated by 3 sections of this bead station, but I have 12 here. I may have to go down to 9. I'll have to play with my length a little bit, but let me kind of show you what I'm doing, and then this is very repetitive, cutting all the chain links, making all these drops, and then the rest is simple stringing. But I think this is going to be a glistening, wintry, like stunningly beautiful bracelet, a showstopper. I could see people asking me constantly, where did you get your bracelet? Oh, let me see your bracelet. Because of the sparkle and the movement it's going to have. So what I did is counted only one of my chain links at 11 links and just took a scrap piece of wire, and then I'm just threading on the next link, and I am using my older cutters because this is stainless steel chain. And then you don't have to count, you just come down to, the measurement on your last chain and just keep going like that. It's a really easy way when you have to cut a lot of chain if you're making chain earrings or anything like that where you have to cut a lot of chain. And I'm just going to go and see how many, just continue like that, and just see how many chain drops I can get out of the length of our chain that came in the box. Okay, so I have cut all of my chain, and since I'm dividing my bracelet into thirds, I want 3 sections of my dangles or my fringe. And so I was only able to get 30 links with, 30 links with 11 links in each piece. So that's 10 for each section. And I've just separated them on wire so that when I'm ready to start stringing, they're all organized. So that's what it looks like. It's still a pretty full section. I started out thinking that I wanted a dozen, but I think it's going to be really pretty in thirds. And as it moves around my wrist, there will be fringe and this pretty bead station no matter which way it turns. And then with my calculations, that's the chain that I have left. So next thing, I'll just show you really quickly how I am doing these little triangle crystals to add into the bottom. So I'm just taking a really fine gauge ball head pin from my stash. We didn't get head pins in this month's box, but as I said, if you subscribe to Bargain Bead Box, you can shop the sister website Bead Box Bargains and have a great discount. You can still shop the website even if you're not a subscriber, but that 30% is really amazing. And I will put links in the description box with my discount code, because I do have a code for Bargain Bead Box, and if you use my link, it doesn't cost you any extra or do anything to you, but it helps support my channel. So it's a win-win for everybody. So I'm just making a little bend in my ball head pin, and then I'm going to use my tiniest pair of round nose pliers because I'm just keeping everything in scale. The individual links on this knurled chain are quite petite, so I want all my loops to be quite petite as well. And I'm just going to put that in there. And I have had a few questions about my really small round nose pliers. I picked these up at a bead shop on a bead shopping trip, but I always link the Xuron ones. Let me see if I have them here. I always link the Xuron ones in the description box of my videos because I love those too, and they have a really, really petite tip if you need really small pliers. So I always put a link to those in the description box with my other favorite tools. And I'm just gonna bring this wire up and over the top. It's almost gonna look like I'm doing a wrapped loop, but I'm doing a simple loop. Then I'm just gonna rotate so that the bottom barrel is now the top barrel. My wire is really fine, so I have to have a really good grip here, and just bring that wire around and just center my loop. And then it looks like I'm about to wrap the loop, but in fact, I'm not. I'm going to take the flat side of my flush cutters and snip it right there where that, let me get my fingers out of the way, snip it right there where it meets the wire. So I'm working with really fine ball head pins, but that works really well for getting a simple loop, especially when you want a tiny one. And then I can just open that loop and come to my last link on my next section of chain and add it in and close it. And I'll probably do this part after I'm all finished figuring out my pattern and my sections in my stringing. But I'm going to work hard and with a little bit of force open and close my pliers. And so that's what that looks like. Okay, so I am going to string this up. I'll do that off camera because this is going to be simple stringing. I'm going to play with this pattern here, but I'm going to do most of this off camera because it's very repetitive. I'm going to do another bead station here with one of the 10mm beads, one of my check glass silver wavy disc spacers, and another one of these little crystal triangle beads. They're so sparkly. Oh my goodness. So it's going to look like that. And then next up is one of these faceted rondelles. They are so gorgeous. They literally look like ice. And I'll just bring this over here. And this is just stringing the chain. Whoops, I missed the hole altogether. Stringing the chain right onto my bead stringing wire, and that is going to be my pattern. Oh, and I just realized that I forgot to show you what I'm stringing on. I am so excited about making this bracelet. I truly am. It's one of those designs that's been floating around in my head for a really long time, and I feel like I'm finally getting around to making it, and I'm just really excited about it. So let me just pause my stringing for one moment and I'll show you. I am using my favorite bead stringing wire. This is the Soft Flex 49 strand, and I'm using the white quartz color just to keep with the wintry theme. This is an all-purpose medium beading wire. I love it. It is so fluid and malleable, but yet it's sturdy. There are actually 49 strands intertwined inside this outer casing, and they have so many pretty colors, but this white quartz was just perfect for this project. And I also love the Soft Flex #2 crimp tubes. They have a really nice thick wall for the magical crimping plier. I highly recommend those. And then I love the Soft Flex craft wire. It's got an anti-tarnish coating, and I make my own jump rings out of that as well. So that's almost kind of like the base to all the my projects that I do, is to start with those good supplies. See if I can expedite my chain stringing a little bit this way by just taking it right off my. So I'm going to string this up and check my length, clamp off the other end and check my length, and I'll just pause. It'll just be a second for you. And when I have this all worked out lengthwise, back, I have finished all of my stringing and all of my little components here. It is so stunning. I did have to make adjustments to what I originally started out with because my length was just too long for me. So if you have a larger size bracelet, you might be able to get a third bead station, but mine pattern has worked out like this. I also had to cut down on the number of drops, which left me some extra lengths of chain. And while I'm sitting here, because this is really repetitive, wire wrapping, or doing the simple loops on all of these little crystals, it was just very repetitive to sit and do that. So since I had 6 lengths of my chain left over, I designed a wonderful little pair of earrings, and I have the second one here, so I'll show you exactly what I did for that. And then I'm having a little bit of a dilemma because I wanted to use the wreath clasp that came in the box, but I'm not sure if it's going to be a little bit with all the fringe hanging down on this bracelet. I'm not sure if that's going to be a pain to take it on and off. So I have this beautiful pave magnetic clasp in my stash, but the dilemma with that is it does kind of grab onto my chains a little bit. So what I've decided to do is start with the one I like the best and do it with jump rings after I've crimped, and then I will have the option to open the jump ring and change it out if I think that's a better clasp for all this fringiness. And one other thing I just have to say, I'm looking at this as I was sitting here making all the little drops for the bottom. Wouldn't that be a stunning necklace, focal on a necklace? So if you love the idea of this project, but wearing this as a bracelet seems, like it's too much for you, consider it as a necklace. I know this is a horrible camera angle for you, but that would be absolutely a stunning focal on a necklace. And I'm going to wear this for a while as a bracelet because I have always wanted to make one of these fringe sort of, I have to say I've been watching the jewelry trends going into 2025, and I'm quite excited about them because one of the big things we're going to see is couture things coming into jewelry. So things that you would normally find in fashion on apparel is going to translate over into jewelry. So, you know, cuffs and bows and some of the things that I've seen were just stunning. And this kind of reminds me of that, to have like anything with fringe, you know, that's very apparel runway sort of. So I'm having a lot of fun with this design. So let's jump into crimping. I'm going to use my number 2 crimp tubes, and I only need 2 of them. And I'll go ahead and just crimp one side, and then I want to be really careful with my tension, how tight or loose my other crimp is, because if this is really tight, then my fringiness is not going to, you know, drop down. It's really nice to have the weight of these little crystals on the end. So the first end is super easy because you just crimp, and you know, it's easy. You don't have to worry about tension. Just get your crimp in there. So I'm going to feed on my number 2 crimp tube and make a loop. And I'll just say here, you could definitely do the traditional fold over crimp method here, but I really love my magical crimping pliers, so that's what I'm going to do. I don't think, if it's possible, I try to feed my wire back down through a bead or 2. Oh, look, it actually does go through that crystal. That's nice. Let's see if it will go through another bead. It's not necessary. Oh wow, it does. It's not necessary. You can see it makes me really happy, because after it's crimped, if I can trim my end down away from where my closure is, it just looks nicer, and you know, you don't notice where you've cut off as much. So let me see if I can make a loop and get it back through a couple of these beads. If you need a little bit of leverage, you could like put your jump ring on so you have something to hold on to, and maybe I should have done that, but I'm pretty patient with my jewelry. So let me see if it even is going. It goes through the chain twice. Let's see if I can get it to go through one more bead. These little crystal rondelles. Nope, it doesn't go through that. Okay, that's all right. And I just want a really small loop. Okay, and now I'm going to take my magical crimping plier and just make sure, get my hand out of the way so you can see what I'm doing. Just make sure that that tube is really centered and nestled right into the single divot in this plier. Check top and bottom, and then close the tool, and then you can see that I've taken the tube and made a square, pinch the 4 corners, and then I'm going to turn it the opposite direction in the divot. And once again, just make sure before I close down that it is in the middle. The 2 things that I find that keep you from being successful with this tool is if you're too fast, I can feel that it's not in the middle. If you're too fast, and also if you're using cheap crimp tubes, it just doesn't, this tool doesn't want to work. Okay, I got it that time. And close in that direction, and then just maintain the position in the divot and open and close as you go around, so you are forming the tube into a bead. And you know, if you take it away and you want to do it a little bit more, you can, but it just makes a really amazing little crimp bead, and a non-jewelry maker, you know, can't tell how this is held together. So I'm going to come here with my cutters and trim this little bit. And now on this side, I do want to pay attention to my tension. Pay attention to my tension. So let's see, another number 2 crimp tube, and I'm going to make that loop and pull this into a loop, and then before I crimp down, I just want to make sure that my fringe is not too tight in between the beads that I've used for this space, the little faceted rondelles. Just get my loop in there. Okay. Oh my goodness, this is the coolest bracelet. I love it. I think this is going to be so much fun to wear. This is definitely not a bracelet to wear for cleaning the house, you know, or gardening, but for going shopping with a girlfriend or out to dinner, this would just, it's just going to be, I can't wait to wear this. It's so pretty. Let me see. See if my, just want to make sure that my, nothing is too tight. I got my length really good. And trim. Okay, I am going to put 2 jump rings on each end of this bracelet. I'm gonna do a larger one on my, let's see, larger one on my loop, and then the smaller one through my toggle. I picked these up at a bead show, and they definitely need an anti-tarnish coating. So when I use them, I always take my Permalac coating and I brush it over the crystals and everything. And it doesn't cloud the crystals if you get the semi-gloss. Okay, this is absolutely gorgeous. Oh my goodness, I love this bracelet so much. I'm going to take this one off because the one I'm wearing is going to compete with this sparkly one. Let me take this one off and try this one on. Oh, so gorgeous. So my chain is grabbing this magnetic clasp a little bit. I don't know if you can see, but it is grabbing it. I may have to go to a different chain. As much as I love this pave clasp, can you see that it's finding the stainless steel chain? Let me see. I thought it would be easier. It might be okay once it's on. Like I said, I loved it. Look at that, you guys. This is so stunning. I know this is a terrible, terrible camera angle for you, but I love this bracelet. I may have to wear this a little bit and decide if I'm going to keep this magnetic clasp on, if my chain is far enough away from it. But oh my goodness, this is so gorgeous. It is so stunning. I love it. Okay, I want to sit and play with my bracelet. I just love this so much. And I really, I have seen these where the fringe goes all the way around the entire circumference of the bracelet. And I really love the design of doing 3 sections of fringe because I think it's a little less complicated, you know. So I'm going to set this little toggle aside. And I won't need all those jump rings either. Let me clean up a little bit and then we'll make that earring. So it's a bracelet earring set. This is the little earring, and so what I'm using here, I had 2 of these bicone beads left over from another box. There are plenty of beads in this month's bargain bead box to use with it, and I even tried one of these 10mm mermaid glass beads, but it was just a little bit too big for me. And I also had these stainless steel lever back ear wires, again from the Bead Box Bargains website, the sister website. So they're stainless steel. So I pulled those out, and as I said, working out the pattern here, I had 3 links of my chain left over. And so what I did is I used my 1-step looper for the loops on this earring. I used the 1.5 millimeter for the loop at the top of the earring, and it's a 20 gauge piece of wire. Just going to let it make that fresh cut and the loop, pull my wire down, warm and straighten. The loop is now centered on the wire, and then I'm going to set that one aside. And my bottom loop, the loop that holds all 3 of the chains, I went up to the 2.25 millimeter 1-step looper, and this was just a simple pattern of one of those gorgeous little cone shaped bead caps from the box, my little leftover from another bead box. I really love using the things that I already have, the things that I've purchased. I love using things from the bead boxes, so I often add in things. But look how perfect that was. It just adds a couple of different colors of silver. The bead caps fit perfectly over that large bicone, and I just, I liked it a little bit better than another one of those. So I'm going to do the same thing again, but this time with the larger hole 1-step looper. This time I will use the guide hole and close it gently. That's a little bit too close. I don't want to cause any damage, so I'm just back that away from the front jaw and go slowly. You don't need to pop it closed. It makes a nice fresh blunt cut. It's making the loop, and I need to pull this down so I can complete the loop, but also I centered that loop on the other loop. And when I take it away, I have a perfect loop, and it's a little bit larger than the other one. So now I can open this loop and thread on my chains, my 3 chains, to which I have added one of those little triangle crystals the same way that I did on all the fringe on my bracelet. And I saved the last one to do with you, so I'm just going to set that there. I'm just going to show you again what I did to accomplish that. These crystal triangles are a little bit of a funky shape, so I just came in with my pliers and put a little bend in the wire, and then put my round nose pliers in there and made a loop over the top barrel, rotate, bring that around, just center everything, and then I'm going to come in with my cutter, the flat side of my flush cutter, right where the 2 wires are meeting up. And I have a really nice tiny little loop, and then I can open it and add it to the bottom link on my chain and close it. And this is what I did. Sat here thinking and designing designing and thinking about the clasp and everything. It is quite small, and I do want it closed really well because the chain is so fine. And then I'm going to come back to my earring, which I've lost one of my chains, but this is so fun and so easy and so stunning. It's a very simple design, but it is flirty and it has movement, and it just like so gratifying to make this. So I'm going to just close my loop with a little bit of force, work hard in that loop, and that second earring is done. These are stainless steel, so I'm not going to open that loop. I think it's going to be a little bit easier to open my simple loop. And there is no front or back to these. They're the same all the way around, so it's super easy. And I actually, I like the stainless steel ear wire for the anti-tarnish, and it's very sturdy, but I actually love the color. It was almost the same color as that bicone that I had, and these are just so sparkly. They're not super huge earrings, but they are quite a statement. Look at that. So this little set is done. I am so happy. I will put some pictures up at the end, and one other thing that I will do, I'll show you. This is the semi-gloss Permalac anti-tarnish coating. I'm just going to bring in a little plastic dish, and the only thing on this bracelet that needs the anti-tarnish coating is this clasp, because these are glass. The chain is stainless steel, but I purchased these at a bead show, and I know that they will tarnish because the gold ones I got when I didn't put the anti-tarnish, they also tarnished. But here's the cool thing: if you get the semi-gloss, not the matte version of the Permalac, you can brush it over pave things like this, and it doesn't cloud the crystals. You can, get your little brush inside the hole and just give it a nice coating. It dries really fast, and if you accidentally brush it onto a bead or anything else, it doesn't, it dries clear. You don't see it. I just usually use my pliers to make sure that I've coated everything, even inside the loops, because it's just fashion jewelry. And I say this all the time, stylists will tell you that fashion jewelry is only supposed to last one season. You wear it a few times with your outfit, and then you're supposed to be done with it. But when I hand make something, I really want it to have a lot more longevity than that. So I love my Permalac coating. Okay, I thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to check the description box of this video. I will put my discount code to Bargain Bead Box and links to the website. And I always link my favorite tools and anything else that I've used in today's project that I think you might be interested in. You will find it in that box. And I thank you so much for watching. I hope everyone is safe and well and having fun on your beading mats. Ciao, creative friends.